So just some reminders before we get into the video. First reminder is to make sure that you're keeping an eye out and an ear out for the key word for this lesson. Reminder number 2 is to make sure you're taking notes. Include the date, lesson number, aim, and standards to help you refer back in your notes. Let's get to it. So welcome back. This video is going to be covering lesson 7 of unit 2. Our aim for today is going to be how can we write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form with limited information. So this is new, your slope-intercept form. We are going to be completing our warm-up. So the warm-up is asking you what is the slope of the line in the equation? And they're giving you y equals 1/2 x plus 3. So given this equation, we need to find our slope. The different parts of this equation, we need to figure out what the plus 3 is, your half, and then you have these variables x, and then you have y. So x and y are going to be your coordinate points. So just a point on the graph, x and y. So then we're just going to focus on our we're going to focus on our 1/2 and plus 3. 1/2 is going to change with your x variable or any x coordinate point. This is going to be your hint that that is going to be your slope. But then what could your plus 3 represent? This is your y-intercept, where your graph is going to cross your y-axis. This represents, or this is the value when x equals 0. What your y will equal. Okay, so let's look a little bit further. So like I said before, your y-intercept is where the graph crosses or intersects the y-axis. So in this graph on the right, your y-intercept would be this point right here. So your y-intercept would equal -1. This would be your b value, -1. From the graph, we would be able to write our equation. We call it a special form, what we're going to be talking about today, your slope-intercept form. The reason why you're calling this your slope-intercept form is because you need your slope and your y-intercept in order to write this equation. So your m value, this is going to be your slope. Your b value, that is your y-intercept. And then you have your y and your x, and those are your coordinate point. Anyone on the graph. So what we're going to do is we're going to be using this equation and this form to write out graphs, so equation of a line, using slope-intercept form. So the first question, we're still using y equals mx plus b. We need to use these points to find your slope, and then we're going to use the points and the equation in order to find this intercept. So here we have, I'm going to use 1, 4, and I'm also going to use, let's use 3/12. Okay, so I'm going to find my my slope, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's call this x1, x2, y1, y2. Let's substitute everything in. You get 12 minus 4 over 3 minus 1, 8 over 2. This would just be 4. I have my slope. That's just one part. Now we got to find our y-intercept. Our y-intercept, I'm going to use my equation of a line. I have my points from the table. I have my slope. Now I just have to find the missing piece of my y-intercept. So all I'm going to do is very similar to what I did before. I'm just going to substitute in my numbers. I am going to use, let's use a different point. Let's do 2,8 for my y and my x. So that means my y is 8 equals, I have my slope, which is 4, times x, which is 2, plus b. Now I'm just going to simplify, so I'm going to multiply here. I'm going to get 8 equals 8 plus b. Remember, we're trying to isolate our b value, so that means we have to take everything away and put it on the other side. So if this is a plus 8, I have to subtract both sides. My inverse operations, I get b equals 0. So if my y-intercept is 0, that means my equation is going to look like y equals 4x plus 0. And when you add a 0 to anything, it just stays the same. So really you have y equals 4x, and this would be the equation of the line. And if you notice, it's actually proportional, because in a proportional relationship we have that y-intercept of 0, which just looks like y equals kx, or mx in this case, because our b value is 0. Let's try number 2. So number 2, let's just take, again, we're trying to find our slope-intercept form of the line. I'm going to take 3 comma negative 5, and I'm going to take 6 comma negative 14 for my slope. I'm just going to write out the formula again so I don't forget. So let's do y1, y2, x2, x1. All right, so I have negative 14 minus a negative 5 over 6 minus 3. Negative 14 plus, because this is going to combine to get a positive, you're going to add. So you're going to get 9 over 3, which is really just, negative 9 over 3, which is just negative 3. So my slope is going to be negative 3. I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the other problem. I'm going to use my y equals mx plus b. I'm going to substitute in my values, and this time I am going to use, let's use negative 2 comma 10. So I have 10 equals my slope, which is negative 3. Then I have negative 2 plus b. So I'm going to simplify. I'm going to get 10 equals 6 plus b. I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. 4 equals b. So my y-intercept is 4. So that means my equation is going to be y equals negative 3x plus 4, because it is a positive value. That is my equation. Okay, for this last question, you're going to take the graph and write the equation in y equals mx plus b form. Pause the video here, try it on your own, and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so what I'm going to do is find my slope. and my y-intercept is at this point, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a positive 5. So let's see. I'm going to go rise over run. My rise is, use this point and this point. 1, 2, 3, plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, plus 4. So I have 3/4. It's positive, so I'm just going to write out my equation, put it all together. Y equals 3/4 x plus 5 would be my answer. Okay, so make sure you identify your keyword. Make sure you write down any questions that you have for me, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.